Studio 31. HSHS St. John's Hospital. We're here with you.
Live from our studio in Springfield, you're watching News Channel 20 at 10.
Tonight at 10, as people prepare for holiday gatherings, more are hoping to test for COVID-19 at home, why those tests may be hard to find.
Shifting their messaging, why the White House is making some changes on how the country continues to fight COVID-19.
And hiring a liaison after violence at local schools, how the mayor's responding to bringing back that position. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. With the emergence of the Omicron variant in the U.S., demand for COVID-19 testing is once again skyrocketing.
But the at-home tests are beginning to become hard to come by. Our Matt Roy is working for you to find out why. Matt?
Well, Marcella, Devin, with COVID-19 cases still on the rise, stores like Walgreens are saying that the at-home COVID-19 PCR tests are increasingly hard to come by.
Just a few weeks ago, the word Omicron was just a symbol, the 15th letter in the Greek alphabet, actually. But now the word takes on a whole new meaning. Now it means as a nation, we better buckle up. As experts like Health Department Director Gail O'Neill say a tsunami of positives may be coming.
I think so. Not that we have Omicron here yet, but it just seems to be, and I had a doctor's call this morning, it seems that the Omicron is way easier to spread.
According to numbers from the Illinois Department of Public Health, every county in the state is at high-level risk. As the numbers continue to go up, so are the number of tests taken. Over the last 7 days, Sangamon County is averaging 2,580 tests a day. A month ago, the 7-day average was at about 2,100.
Right here in Springfield, we're fortunate that the state lab here and several others that the state supplies, we do have really good testing available.
But while testing sites are still all over, the home PCR tests are running low. In a statement, Walgreens said due to the incredible demand for at-home rapid testing, we put in effect a 4-item purchase limit on at-home COVID-19 testing products in our stores and digital properties in an effort to help improve inventory. Numerous local pharmacists also say that the home tests are hard to keep in stock and are flying off their shelves.
Now, to further that point, the clerk at this Walgreens over here on Dirksen and Clear Lake actually just came out and said they had 178 tests ordered on Friday. By Monday afternoon, they ran out. Just one symbol of the increasing COVID tests here in Sangamon County. In Springfield, I'm Matt Roy. Back to you.
Matt, thank you for getting us that new information. And if you need a COVID-19 test but cannot find one of the at-home options, there are still numerous testing facilities around the state. For a list of those, head to our website.
In tonight's coronavirus update, Illinois state health officials reporting more than 16,000 new cases of COVID-19 and 66 new deaths. Sangamon County reporting 242 new cases and 2 new deaths. Those deaths are 2 men, one in his 60s, the other in his 80s. Now, they both tested positive earlier this month. The state is 60% fully vaccinated, with Sangamon County at 59%.
The White House is shifting messaging on COVID. President Biden is now looking to limit hospital stays and deaths from the virus and its variants, while the president's top health advisor, Anthony Fauci, still says he's not giving up on eradicating the virus. He likens the U.S. approach to a war footing.
Does the president still feel like COVID can be ended?
His objective is to continue to make vaccines available, reduce cases around the country, reduce hospitalizations and deaths across the country.
We are so fortunate that we have a highly effective and safe vaccine. We know what public health mitigations work. We have just got to hang in there. We can't give up. We're at a war.
This as the Omicron variant continues moving across the country. But as polls show, Americans, they're growing tired of the virus and are turning their concerns toward the economy.
The Supreme Court will hold a special session to consider President Biden's mask mandate for large employers. Now, the High Court is set to hear the case on January 7th, and on Friday, a court overturned a previous ruling saying that the vaccine mandate could stand. The Supreme Court will have the ultimate say over whether the Occupational Safety and Health Administration has the authority to impose requirements for mandatory vaccines or weekly testing.
Well, turning to your weather right now, it's not feeling like December here in the capital city, and it's certainly not looking like it either, with the possibility of a warm Christmas. Let's check in with meteorologist Cheryl Lemke to see just how warm it's going to get. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, Devin. Well, that's so true. And I would say just forget what the calendar says, because even though it's supposed to be December, it's not going to be feeling like December. It'll be feeling more like spring than anything else. Looking outside right now, though, it is rather nippy this evening. We do have fair skies. It is currently 34 degrees. And when you factor in the winds, it feels like the mid-20s. So temperatures at this hour ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s. Some of the coldest weather is right around Champaign at 27 or 29, 27 for Paris, 31 degrees for Mattoon, and we're still at the freezing mark from Decatur back over towards Taylorville down towards Litchfield. Overnight tonight, we'll be bottoming out close to 30 degrees or so. And then after a cold beginning tomorrow, it really warms up big time. We'll be into the mid-50s for you for Thursday. And it gets even warmer as we approach Christmas Day. I'll let you know just how high those temperatures will climb. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Cheryl. And after a stabbing at Lanphier High School that left one child dead about a month ago, some Springfield's alder people brought up the idea of a liaison being hired to help communication between the city and District 186. But Mayor Jim Langfelder saying that it should not fall on one person, in this case, an educational liaison to communicate with the school districts, but that it needs to fall on all city leadership. He says at that time it was a, quote, trend-setting position, but now the city has outgrown the need for it.
I don't see it going back to an educational liaison with regards to that, because we have so many relationships. We're not going to put our hands in just one person. It's really many hands working towards an initiative to build the relationships with the schools and the student body.
Langfelder says one good thing that has come from the pandemic is an increased communication between the district and the city. Langfelder saying that it needs to be a holistic approach, improving lives inside and outside of the classroom.
Using a drone to find two missing teens. The Sangamon County Rescue Squad used a drone and thermal imaging to find a 16-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy. The teenagers were reported missing at around 1:30 this morning. The rescue squad was able to scan the area with the drone and found both at around 9 a.m. Officials say that the teenagers did not need medical attention after they were found.
And in tonight's Crime Alert, Crime Stoppers reminding us of scams this holiday season. They say if you're being asked to pay with gift cards, then that's a major red flag. Law enforcement won't call threatening to arrest you for a warrant unless you pay a large fine over the phone. And if you find a deal online that seems too good to be true, well, it probably is, so be careful.
New laws coming into effect as we head into the new year. We fill you in on the details.
And coming up, former President Trump planning a press conference on the anniversary of the Capitol attack, what you can expect.
And we've got a live look over the capital city thanks to the HSHS St. John's Hospital Tower camera. Well, I'll check back in with Cheryl in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. As the new year approaches, hundreds of new laws are also going to take effect in Illinois.
Our Jacob Emerson is working for you to break down new policies that could have a direct impact on you. Jacob.
A new year and new laws from the capital city taking effect across the land of Lincoln. By January 1st, nearly 300 pieces of legislation will impact all Illinoisans in some way. Students seen some of the biggest changes this coming year. All children K through 12 now have 5 excused absences from school for mental health days.
It is the effort to acknowledge that it's okay that kids, if they're having those problems, that the first step is to address them, and it gives them the freedom to do that.
There's also no more discrimination allowed against natural hairstyles like locks and braids. And high schoolers can now choose whether or not they'll submit ACT or SAT scores to Illinois' public colleges and universities. Speaking of kids, if you're under 16 and running a lemonade stand going forward, public health officials cannot shut you down for the lack of a permit. Law enforcement is another group seeing some of the most major changes in 2022, with a FOID card overhaul, including the option for combined FOID and concealed carry cards. Police departments must begin to phase in officer body cameras. No contact orders from a court now include email, text, and social media. And if you have a felony for animal abuse, you can no longer own or live with a pet.
All Illinoisans will live in a safer and more just state with this law on the books.
Other notable changes include a ban on early cancellation fees for terminating a lost loved one's utility bills. And all state agencies are now only allowed to fly Illinois and American flags made in the USA.
Thank you, Jacob. Juneteenth, or the day commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, will also become a state holiday in 2022. For a full list of the nearly 300 laws taking effect, head to our website, newschannel20.com.
Coming up, holding a press conference on the anniversary of the Capitol attack. We're going to take a look at what to expect from former President Trump.
And it's time now for the weather guarantee, sponsored by the Green Family Stores. I was forecasting a high of 37, and indeed we did get up to 37 for today. So another $100 gets added towards our featured charity, and the outlet currently is sitting at $1,300. Even though it has been chilly today, we're about to see temperatures on the upswing. I'll let you know how warm it's going to get for your holiday weekend. Your full storm team forecast in just a couple minutes.
Welcome back. National headlines tonight. Former President Donald Trump making a surprise announcement Tuesday, promising to hold a press conference on the anniversary of the Capitol attack.
It's unclear exactly what he plans to announce, but speculation is already buzzing around what the former commander-in-chief will say at the Mar-a-Lago estate in just a few weeks. Jay O'Brien from our sister station has the latest.
Right across the water here at Mar-a-Lago is where former President Donald Trump plans to speak on the anniversary of one of the lowest points of his presidency, the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Since then, he's wrestled control of the Republican Party, and he's flirting with a potential run for the White House in 2024. But what exactly former President Trump plans to say a full year after the events of January 6th is anyone's guess. From his home in Florida, former President Trump issuing a statement aimed at Washington, D.C., continuing baseless allegations that the election was stolen, calling the Capitol attack an unarmed protest, and saying these topics and more are the theme of a press conference he's holding on January 6th. The event, planned for the one-year anniversary of the date Trump supporters breached the Capitol, brawled with police, and sent members of Congress fleeing for safety as they tried to certify President Biden's electoral win.
A recorded vote is requested.
But the former president's press conference comes as the congressional committee investigating January 6th gets closer to obtaining records from his White House after an appeals court rejected Trump's attempts to keep them sealed. The committee already releasing texts sent to Trump's chief of staff during the Capitol riot, including several from Donald Trump Jr., pleading with the president to condemn the attack as it was unfolding.
Quote, "We need an Oval Office address. He has to lead now. It has gone too far and gotten out of hand."
But Trump remains popular with core supporters, fueling his continued false claims of a stolen election.
Hillary conceded. I never conceded.
The combative former commander-in-chief, now a kingmaker in the Republican Party. Dozens of GOP candidates are now rushing to Mar-a-Lago for Trump's endorsement, according to Antonio Finns, politics editor of Trump's hometown paper, The Palm Beach Post.
He has been able to marshal that base into political power.
As Trump reportedly plots another run for the White House in 2024, right now he's crisscrossing the country, holding events. Booed this weekend by supporters after acknowledging he got the COVID booster.
Did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't.
President Biden later commending his chief critic for getting the third shot.
Maybe one of the few things he and I agree on.
Despite that, there is obviously no love lost between the current president and the former president. And when Trump holds that press conference right here at Mar-a-Lago in just a few weeks' time, you can expect him to continue his critiques of the Biden administration. I'm Jay O'Brien, reporting.
Now, your Storm Team weather with Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke.
Today marks the first full day of the winter season, and it really felt like winter today, but we're about to undergo a major warming trend in the coming days. Now, this morning was pretty nippy out there, bone-chilling cold. We started off teens and lower 20s. Then this afternoon, even though we had some sunshine, temperatures really struggled, and we only managed to climb into the mid to upper 30s. But things are about to warm up. Overnight tonight, lower 30s. Later for tomorrow, though, climbing into the 50s. And it gets even warmer for Friday, for Christmas Eve, as we'll easily see temperatures soaring into the 60s. And it's going to stay pretty mild for the next several days, really feeling more like spring than winter. Now, keep in mind that the average high for this time of the year is right around 39. But as you can see, temperatures way above that will be anywhere from 10 to 15, even upwards to 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. And with the weather being so warm, don't expect any snow to be coming our way anytime soon. And that's really quite unusual because typically by this point in late December, we normally would be averaging close to about 4 inches or so of snow. But instead this year for Springfield, we've only had a trace. And that is making this winter season one of the top 5 years for the latest first measurable snow. So it's going to be really going down in the record books, I think. The all-time ultimate, though, for the very latest in the season to get that first snowfall, that happened way back in 1913 on January 4th when we picked up a ½ inch of snow. We'll have to wait and see how things actually play out, but certainly we're going to be in the top 5 for the latest in the season to get that first measurable snow. Our latest live Doppler radar very quiet right now, and it will stay quiet at least for another day or so thanks to high pressure controlling our weather. So we'll keep it dry through tomorrow, and our next chance to see any wet weather will be on Friday. Fair skies overnight tonight, some sunshine too early tomorrow morning, but then we'll start to see increasing clouds during the afternoon. And the clouds will eventually give way to some spotty light rain and some sprinkles, we think, for Friday for Christmas Eve. But then for Christmas Day itself, it'll be drying out again. Partly cloudy skies, not a white Christmas at all this year, and instead highs up to 59 degrees. Our forecast tonight will be a chilly one, although certainly not as cold as what it's been the last few nights. Lows bottoming out near 30. Tomorrow all the way up to 55 degrees. And the good news for holiday travelers, not a lot of wet weather coming our way. It's going to be dry for most days. There will be that spotty rain for Christmas Eve, maybe a little bit more rain too for Sunday night. You might be dodging a few stray showers too for Tuesday, but overall some dry weather and some pretty mild temperatures continuing on into next week.
Thanks, Cheryl. Local elementary students are getting into the holiday spirit. Enos Elementary students celebrating Kwanzaa today. The students there have been learning about the annual celebration, including its 7 principles of unity, self-determination, collective work, and many more. Now, today, they put all of their knowledge into motion with a special performance.
Kids love it. At first, you do have those different stereotypes and different myths about what Kwanzaa is, and is it a religion, is it not a religion, and Kwanzaa is not a religion at all. Kwanzaa is simply a celebration of us, of bringing it together, celebrating what happened in the past year, and looking forward to what's going to happen in the new year.
Kwanzaa is a 7-day observance beginning December 26th. The annual celebration was created back in 1966 to promote African American culture. Now it's estimated 18 million African Americans take part in Kwanzaa.
First Night Springfield is returning to the capital city this year. The celebration is making its 35th year on December 31st with a variety of events and performances. All ages are welcome, and organizers say that the event will be fully accessible in the downtown area. Public health guidelines will be followed for all activities. The event starts at 1 p.m. President Biden speaking on America's supply chain issues, what he says needs to be done to solve the problem. Our supply chain less vulnerable by making more things in the USA. That's the message President Biden sent during a meeting Wednesday with business leaders. They discussed supply chain issues with shopping season.
We can never again be left vulnerable the way we were in the early days of COVID-19. One important way to do this is to make more things here in America. That has been a goal of mine since day one of my administration.
Biden's comments come as legislation designed to boost U.S. competitiveness with China is stalled in Congress. The Senate already passed the Innovation and Competition Act. The House says it has yet to act on the bill. It seeks to make the USA a major hub for semiconductor production.
Some Republican leaders want Senator Manchin to jump ship. Now, this after the Democratic senator announced that his opposition to the Build Back Better bill, Senate Minority Leader McConnell, was one of the first. He said last week that, quote, it would be a great idea if the moderate Democrats switched parties. Others, like Senator Tom Cotton, though, said the same. Manchin's move causing a stir inside the Democratic Party.
It's unfortunate that it seems we can't trust Senator Manchin's word. I said that to him. And look, he has a different characterization of things, but we have spent months waiting, negotiating, getting to an agreement.
Manchin was concerned about the impact of the BBB and how it would be impacted on inflation, even though Democratic leadership says the bill is paid for. Coming up, the biggest rivalry game for the University of Illinois. Alessandra Poprion is at that game and will be joining us for the News Channel 20 Sports Desk.
Channel 20 Sports Desk.
Good evening. Illinois men's basketball and Missouri will clash on the hardwood here at Enterprise Center in St. Louis for the bragging rights rivalry game. Missouri has won the past 3 games in a row. The last time Fighting Illini were able to win was in 2017. Well, if Missouri pulls out a victory tonight, it'll be the 3rd time in series history that the Tigers have won 4 straight. I know Christmas is only a few days away, so Illinois fans probably want to be the Grinch to Missouri's possible early Christmas present. Fighting Illini have out-rebounded 9 of their 11 opponents and ranks 3rd nationally in rebound margin. Kofi Coburn being a huge contributor in that stat line, as the big man is the 3rd leading rebounder in the nation with 12 per game. While on the other side, head coach Brad Underwood says Missouri wears you out on the offensive glass. He says his team will have to be solid and compete in what will be a hard-fought battle.
They're a team that can throw a lot of different bodies at you. They're going to pressure you. They're one of the top transition defensive teams in the country. They're a team that wears you out on the offensive glass. So we've got to be physical in that way.
We will have highlights, post-game reaction, and a full recap on our website. And the Illinois women's basketball team hosting Missouri in State Farm Center for their own bragging rights rivalry. The Illini on fire early on. Jada Peebles knocks down the long jump shot for a 13-1 lead. Demila Brown would have herself a day for the Illini, career-high 22 points from the junior guard. Mizzou would slowly begin to chip away at the Illinois lead. Lauren Hansen hits the open 3 at the top of the key. She'd come right back inside for the and one to tie it up at the end of the first, part of her 14-point outing. Adelia McKenzie looking to halt the Tiger momentum with the jumper from the elbow. But Mizzou would pull away. Haley Frank, one of 5 Tigers in double figures, as Mizzou tops Illinois 84-65. Well, with the recent surge in COVID-19 cases, Illinois Athletics has instituted a new rule for home athletic events. Fans 12 years and older will either have to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test for any game with more than 200 people in attendance. Masks will still be required for fans 5 years and older. The first Fighting Illini game with a new rule is the men's basketball game hosting Maryland on January 6th. Illinois football may be getting a Christmas miracle thanks to Texas A&M having to pull out of the Gator Bowl due to COVID-19. Illinois head football coach Brett Bielema tweeting today that he's, quote, waiting by the phone. Now, we did spoke to a team spokesperson. He says that nearly all of the team is back home for the holidays, and the team hasn't practiced in almost a month. Well, the Gator Bowl is set for New Year's Eve, which would give Illinois about a week to prepare. Reporting in St. Louis, I'm Alessandra Pomprion.
Get your News Channel 20 Storm Team forecast on 96.7 Bob FM.
It's not going to be a white Christmas, but it will be a warm Christmas. Look for highs near 61 for Christmas Eve, 59 for Christmas Day, and we're going to keep temperatures pretty mild all the way through next week.
Good conditions for Santa.
Absolutely. Should be able to find everyone's house okay?
Yeah, but that does it for us at News Channel 20 at 10. Thanks so much for joining us.
Jimmy Kimmel is up next.